Good evening and welcome to the Delaware Muncie Metropolitan Plan Commission regular meeting. If you are able, please rise and join us for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And roll call, please.
Mr. Borchers? Mr. Brand?
Here.
Mr. Carroll? Mr. Curley? Mr. Dishman?
Present.
Ms. Hensley?
Here.
Mr. Ivy? Mr. Lachey?
Here.
Mr. Landis?
Here.
Mr. Leach? Ms. Sipe? Mr. Smith?
Here.
So we have eight voting members present. So we do have a quorum.
Okay, before I entertain a motion for approval of last month's minutes, we do have one clarification we need to make about the September minutes at the October meeting.
Yeah, so at our October meeting, we voted on the September minutes. We had 4 yeses and 2 that abstained, and I announced that that was approved. So those should not have been approved because we need 5 votes. So we are just going to post the minutes without approval. They will just be posted per directions from Mr. Murphy.
Okay, so then at this point, I would entertain a motion for approval of October's meeting minutes.
So move.
I'll second.
Correctly, so you need to amend the October meeting minutes to reflect the change we just made.
Yeah. So in those, we did announce that the voting, and we did announce who voted in favor and who abstained.
So it doesn't say approval.
And then we
Okay,
left it.
fair enough.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so we had a motion and a second.
Mhm.
Questions about October's minutes? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Brand,
Yes.
Mr. Carroll,
I'll abstain. I wasn't here.
Mr. Dishman,
Yes.
Ms. Hensley,
Yes.
Mr. Lachey,
Yes.
Mr. Landis,
Abstain.
Ms. Sipe,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Okay, so that is 6 yeses, 2 abstain. So that is official action of approval of the October 2025 minutes.
Okay, so before we hear our first case, just a couple of reminders. Maybe some of you are here for the first time. If you would please remember to silence your cell phones. When your case is read, we'll have one person come to the podium. Please state your name and address. After the applicant has had an opportunity to speak, we will allow time for those who are in support of that application and to speak, and time for those who are opposed to it to speak as well. It takes 5 votes. We have that many people here. We either move the application forward with a favorable or an unfavorable recommendation to the appropriate body. So having said that, I think we're ready for our first case.
MPC 17-25Z, Jurisdiction, County Commissioners, being a consideration of an appeal filed by the estate of Donna M. Wace, 9001 South County Road, 700 West, Daleville, Indiana, an adjacent parcel, requesting a change in zone from the split zone of F farming zone and BV variety business zone to the BV variety business zone on premises located at 9001 South County Road, 700 West, Daleville, Indiana, as more accurately described in the application.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Van Ice, and I'm from Ashton Land Surveyor at 325 West Washington Street here in Muncie, Indiana. As the application does say, it is a split zone parcel, and our goal is to go to the variety business or business variety zone. There has been over the years, a business on this premises. They've used this property since the 1970s. Several of the buildings, the house was built in 1970, and then some of the buildings were built as early as 1972. They've used this parcel for a car auction. They've sold gravel, they've sold implements and tractor parts over the years. And the buildings are designed for businesses. They're set up, they look like barns, but they are more like a business. And we're trying to change the zoning map so that it is one solid zone instead of just partial. So if you don't have any questions for me on that.
Do you know if the owner, I know you said they intend to sell. Do you have any idea who they're
selling it to?
Yeah.
It is on the market. It has not, we do not
No.
have a contract, but
not a current prospective buyer.
right.
Anybody else have questions for this particular applicant?
Do you know how many letters had to go out to neighbors within 300 feet, and did anybody respond?
I have the list. Let me see. I do know it was several. No, I didn't carry the full thing with me. We always get the list, from area planning, and then we send it to, or we bring it in with the labels and stamps.
Okay.
So, I don't have it with me, I'm sorry.
So there were 17 properties that the letters of notification were sent to.
Any responses?
Our office did not receive any.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I do know that this does help with the marketability of the property with it not being split zoned.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak in support of this applicant? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this application? Okay. Then, Kylie, anything else?
No, just that our office did kind of suggest the rezoning to one or the other
One or
to
the
kind of clear up that split zoning issue.
Okay, if there's no further questions, I would entertain a motion on this application.
I'd like to make a favorable recommendation.
I'll second that.
Do what?
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Brand,
Yes.
Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Dishman,
Yes.
Ms. Hensley,
Yes.
Mr. Lachey,
Yes.
Mr. Landis,
Yes.
Ms. Sipe,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Okay, so we have 8 yeses, so that is official action of approval, or that is a favorable recommendation for MPC 17-25Z. So that recommendation will be forwarded to the county commissioners. They will hear this case at their November 17th meeting, 9 a.m. in this room. So someone will need to be there to represent the case at that meeting.
Okay. Ready for the next case?
MPC 18-25Z, jurisdiction, county commissioners, being a consideration of an appeal filed by Ann Fruit, Renee Warner Van Fleet, and Cynthia Parker, 2688 Briar Cliff Drive, Newburgh, Indiana, 47630, requesting a change in zone from the R2 residence zone to the BV Variety Business Zone on premises located at 4917 North Wheeling Avenue, Muncie, Indiana, as more accurately described in the application.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good evening, President Smith, members of the Plan Commission, staff. My name is Nick Tokar of Tokar Law, 400 West Jackson Street, Muncie, Indiana. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. We've got members of the family of the seller and of the developer here. We're talking about a parcel of property located at 4917 North Wheeling. So this would be the northwest corner of Wheeling and Riggin. If you can picture that parcel in your head, to the east you've got commercial use, to the south you have commercial use, to the north you have commercial use. Property actually to the north that was recently rezoned through this Plan Commission. The request is to move the parcel from the R2 zone to the BV zone. We believe that the request meets all the conditions that you need to consider, right? It's consistent with the current character and conditions of the property. It constitutes the most desirable use of the land, given its access, its road frontage, and the surrounding areas. It will conserve property values, and we think it'll aid in the responsible development and growth. Happy to answer any questions. I can refer you to the folks with me here tonight too, if you've got questions that they're better suited to answer.
Mr. Tokar, do you happen to know how long this current lot has been under the current ownership, and how long it's been basically what it is under the current owner?
Yeah. Back to Mr. Van Fleet's great-grandfather, and it's been in its current condition for as long as, decades, sir. Yeah, yeah.
Other questions for Mr. Tokar? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else here to speak in support of this application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this application? Okay. I know that, well, go ahead, Kylene. I know you had received some office, maybe received some emails.
Yeah, so we did receive a couple emails that we passed out to the board members tonight that were not already in your packets. So for the record, we did receive an email of support from, let's see, Christy Keeley. We received an email with a couple of concerns from Kelly McCowan Williams. And then we also passed out an email to you this evening from Mr. Tokar with some pictures attached to that as well.
We did just get these emails just here a little bit ago, so I'll just give the members just a couple minutes to review those, if you guys don't mind. Mr. Tokar, I do have one question. You could go back up. And I don't know that you can answer this, but I know where that area is, and I do know that there is a gas station on one corner. There's a gas station just down the road. I'm assuming that the developer has done their appropriate, whatever they do, feasibility studies or whatever, to think that area can support another gas station. Can you speak to that, or do you know what?
Sure, I'll speak briefly and I'll ask Mr. Stevenson to come out if he has anything to add to it. But the answer is yes, they feel that site can really work. They will sell gas, but I think the renderings show that you maybe just received a moment ago that it's really much more than selling gas. Like, it is going to be a fresh food market and serve a niche that we think is distinct and unique, and will do just fine there.
Okay, appreciate that. Anybody else have any other questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
So, it's in reference to the multiple other gas stations in the direct vicinity of that. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but our position as this committee is to opine on favorable or not favorable on the rezoning. Whether or not they sell it to a gas station or they sell it to any other developer, if all three corners are in the zoning of BV, limited business zone or major trading zone, that's really what we're here to issue a favorable or non-favorable on. Whether or not a gas station goes on there is beyond this committee, correct?
That's generally correct.
Okay.
If the plans are relevant to your consideration, but ultimately your decision is whether or not to rezone the parcel.
Right. So I guess my question is the developer here, or?
Yes.
Okay. My question is, are there other regulatory requirements that have to be met to put another gas station in proximity to other gas stations? Or do you have to meet with the EPA, or is there any kind of, okay. Okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes,
I'd
sir.
like to ask a question.
Yep.
No, you're saying it's going to be another filling station type thing?
Yes, it'll be a convenience store, a market. There will be gas sold there, correct?
Okay. Well, I was just wondering because you have a child daycare center across the street there, and I didn't want a liquor store or anything like that put there.
Right, understood. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Tokar?
That's a good question that Jerry just brought up. Are you going to apply for a alcohol license to sell beer and everything there?
If it's okay with you, I'm going to have Mr. Stevenson from the developer come up and speak to that.
Good evening. Just one quick question
Oh,
back,
yeah.
or answer
If you
back to
could, please just state your name
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
your address
Shane
first.
Stevenson.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Regarding the daycare down the street, Janelle, I know well, I've met with her. and met with her specific and asked her for some input for that site, because part of the market side that we're going to do will cater to those families that go in and out of her facility often. So we will have the market with fresh foods, sandwiches, the acai bowls, things like that. That's the direction we're going with the whole market side of that building. One side's convenience store, 101. The other side is a market store, kind of a coffee shop. It'll have a coffee island bar. So just something different, a little clean, just a little more relaxed feel. And then what was the other question?
About if you're gonna sell beer.
Oh, I have to be honest with you. When I designed this store, I didn't want to do beer, tobacco, nothing. But everybody that I'm talking to tells me I'm stupid. So, beer and wine possibly could be in that store, but that may be it. If it is, it's very limited selection, because what I do have, I've worked with an Italian company that's going to provide charcuterie boards. So there are various sizes, and they'll be paired with that, possibly in a walk-in cooler that's in the back. So it won't be out displayed in the front of the store. It's actually a cooler that's behind. It's all glass cooler, but it's behind where the drinks typically are in a convenience store. So that cooler refrigerates all the refreshments plus the beer and wine, and then the meats and cheeses. So that's not a definite yet on that store, but again, it's in the air. So, but the market side, again, just the market side, that plays to more of what typically people want to pick up for your breakfast. We'll have breakfast sandwiches. We'll do the lunches. So in the evening, we'll do the same thing for evening pick up and go, take it home. So, but yeah. So yeah, we possibly will.
Okay. Anybody else?
I have another question.
Yes, sir.
Do you have others of these stores in other locations already, or is this a new idea or a new plan?
It's a new venture.
Okay.
Yeah, put this together for about the last 12 months.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, at this point then, I think I would entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a favorable recommendation.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Dishman,
Yes.
Ms. Hensley,
Yes.
Mr. Lachey,
Yes.
Mr. Landis,
Yes.
Ms. Sipe,
Yes.
Mr. Brand,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Okay, so that is 8 yeses, so that is a official action of a favorable recommendation for MPC 18-25Z. So that recommendation will be forwarded to the county commissioners. They will hear this case at their meeting on November 17th, 9 a.m. in this room. So you will need to be there to represent this case at that meeting as well. Thank you.
Okay, looks like legislative action.
Okay, so our legislative action list, we had some cases that went to city council. MPC 14-25Z was Benjamin and Belinda Hughes. This was a request for a change in the zone from the R4 to the BC Community Business Zone on premises located at 1600 North Wheeling Avenue. That was adopted and approved by City Council on October 8th. Also on October 8th, MPC 15-25Z CRU Properties LLC. They were requesting a change in zone from the R5 Residence Zone to the CB Central Business Zone at 718 North Walnut Street. That was adopted and approved by City Council. County Commissioners heard MPC 04-25A. This was the Delaware County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance Amendment regarding solar facility requirements and commercial battery energy storage systems. That was approved and adopted by the Commissioners on October 7th.
Okay. Director's report.
Okay, so I passed out the usual report with our numbers here. We have permits filed for, this is through the end of October. We've had 250 building permits, 216 electrical, 77 HVAC, 71 plumbing, 57 certificates of occupancy, 41 demo permits for a total of 712 permits. Total fees collected for those permits, $133,778.59. Just a note there, in September, we did have another commercial development apply for permits. That was the Dollar General on State Road 67. Inspections completed through the end of October. We 524 building, 354 electrical, 186 plumbing, 143 HVAC. 157 complaints investigated for a total number of inspections of 1,364. Our MPO, they have updated the Public Transit Human Services Transportation Coordination Plan. This is a every 3-year document. This is needed in order for our local transit system, which is MITS, to receive federal funds and apply for federal funding. So that did involve all of the private, public, and other agencies that provide the transit and transportation services. And it did include public input as well. Kitzelman Trail Phase 3 project is one of the projects that our MPO supports. So I did include an update on the Kitzelman Trail Phase 3 project. There's a little article that was in the Cardinal Greenway newsletter written by Kyle Johnson. So that kind of explains the progress that's been made at that site. That is the trailhead and bridge out there off of Jackson Street. MPO had their annual conference in October. We were able to send one staff member to that this year. Liz Wilcox got to attend that conference. And then our SS4A grant update is that we have completed our 3rd committee meeting. We held that last night. We got some very interesting, valuable input on crash rates and so forth in Delaware County. So currently our consulting firm is kind of in the process of collecting all that data, compiling it, recognizing and pinpointing those hotspots that seem to have those high number of crashes and so forth, to kind of identify those as safety need areas in need of, intersection improvements, things like that. Land use and planning, the annual APA, which is the Planners Conference, was held in October as well. We were able to send 3 of our staff members to that. Fred Daniel, Kayla Ferguson, and then Danelle went to that conference this year. So I think they all had a very good time and learned a lot. They all came back with information and said it was a really good conference. The Academy of Community Leadership, I was asked to speak as a panelist at that event this year. I did a presentation on the Together DM and was on the panel for community planning perspectives. So that was a fun activity that I got to do. Our pond ordinance that our office has worked on was approved by the commissioners and enacted at their November 3rd meeting. They did hear that twice, so it went before them for 2 readings, but it was approved on November 3rd. And then I did attach a copy of that in your packet just for you to have. So that is the new Delaware County pond ordinance. Let's see. Our office hosted a survey training that was presented by Ashton Land Surveyors. We offered this to our employees, our entire plat committee. We have several members on our plat committee from the auditor's office. Ricky Sipes serves on that committee as well. So this was just an opportunity for us to kind of expand our knowledge in that area with the help of Ashton Land Surveyors, who are the experts and have been doing plats and surveys for number of years. So that was exciting as well. We have our numbers here for our committees. As of, let's see, through October, we're sitting at 54 BZA cases heard, 28 Plan Commission cases heard, 15 plats, 1 Village Review Committee project for a total of 98 cases. Some additional items, the remaining schedule for this board, we do have a meeting in December. So our next meeting is scheduled for December 4th of this year. And then we did pass out our proposed 2026 schedule for everyone to take a look at. Mr. Murphy, I know in the past we maybe have voted on these. Is that a suggestion to go ahead and vote on this, or?
Yes. We'll go ahead and vote on the calendar.
Okay, so there's our 2026 calendar. The schedule you're given does include the application deadline, which is the deadline the applications have to be turned into our office complete. Public notice deadline is when we have to send out our notices and put our legal notice in the newspaper, and then our meeting dates.
So we're looking at the far right-hand column in terms of.
Yes, so the far right-hand column is the actual date of the meeting.
I'd just like to note that there are
Okay.
2 dates that are actually going to be on the second Thursday due to holiday. The January meeting will be January 8th, and the July meeting will be July 9th. Those are both the second Thursday.
Yes.
And I'd make a motion to approve this meeting schedule.
I'll second.
Okay.
Roll call.
Mr. Brand,
Yes.
Mr. Carroll,
Yeah.
Mr. Dishman,
Yes.
Ms. Hensley,
Yes.
Mr. Lachey,
Yes.
Mr. Landis,
Yes.
Ms. Sipe,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Okay, so everyone's in agreement that we approve the 2026 calendar. Other announcements, I did just want to put out there that the Cardinal Greenway is having their turkey trot this year, Thanksgiving morning, which is November 27th. Registration is available online, also at the event beginning at 7:30, and then the walk run starts at 8 a.m. That is at the Cardinal Greenway Depot, which is 700 East Weiser. Pets are welcome, dogs on leashes, and everybody is encouraged to dress up in your fall and or turkey attire. ECIRPD is collecting clothes. They are conducting a clothes donation currently. This will continue through the winter months. The drop-off location is at the Innovation Connector, which is at 1208 West White River Boulevard. From 1 to 4 is the drop-off hours. These donations will directly impact local veterans. You can also bring items to us and we will get those to that location if you're not able to take those there. Let's see, County Building has Second Harvest Food Bank donation boxes in our lobby. We also have some flyers in the elevators, and I did attach a flyer here because there's a QR code on it in their website. They are taking food donations and monetary donations. They did speak at the commissioners meeting earlier this week. Was that this week? I don't know. And then at the city council meeting this week as well. The fact that stands out to me is that $5 provides up to 20 meals. So those donations can make a big difference in our community. Commissioner Riggin and Commissioner Brand did enter into a contest, I believe, challenging each other to see who can collect the most money. I don't know if that's going to continue.
I'm a winner.
So any donations would be appreciated, that as well. So and that's all I have. Once again, thank you for your guys' time.
Okay. Any items from the board?
I have one thing. We've had a citizen ask the commissioners if there is an electric fence ordinance for neighborhoods. I don't believe that there is, but we need to double check and see if there is an electric fence ordinance for neighborhoods, and then it would be up to this board if they wanted to consider
putting an ordinance in place to prevent electric fences from being placed in neighborhoods. I would be careful about residence zones. You know, we have residence zones that are on county roads. You know, I live on a county road. My house is zoned as a residence zone. And if I wanted to put up an electric fence, I would like that ability. But inside a neighborhood, maybe that's something for this board to consider.
I think we talked about a couple years ago, some people were taking the, those moving plats and making fences out of them and not using fencing material. Do you remember that?
You mean like shipping skids?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's ugly.
And they were putting it up against roads, and it didn't look good, and it, you know,
Right.
very temporary fencing.
I know sometimes when there are neighbor disputes, there is already, and I believe Mr. Murphy can confirm this, there's already a spite law, a spite fence wall. You put up a fence in spite of your neighbor. I think that's prevented. It's probably pretty difficult to prove, but I would agree with skids. If that's not in there, maybe we need to take a look at, you know, some beautification requirements too.
It kind of died. I don't know what happened to it at that time, but Jerry, do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember where Madison comes around to, I think, Myrtle. There was a house there on Elm and Myrtle, I think it was, that had a horrible looking fence around it. And they got it changed now. I think the city went in there and helped them get a new fence.
As a realtor, it'd be nice to have some restrictions, you know, to not harm other people's view and properties.
Okay.
I would like to say I'm very pleased that we have the pond as a realtor there again. I see a lot of people buying property and immediately putting a pond in without permission. And sometimes it's not so good. So this is good.
Just as a point of clarification, Mr. Brand, when you first mentioned it, you mentioned somebody asked about an electrical fence ordinance, but then it seemed like some of the questions or comments were just about fences in general.
Mm-hmm.
So are we talking about an overall fence ordinance or one that is just pertains to electrical fence?
Well,
Or
our
just,
yeah,
I
our
guess that's-
office received a couple of complaints about the electric fence. And I believe it's some of the same homeowners that contacted the commissioners as well. So actually, Tom Fouch, the county building commissioner, did go out and look at and contact and talk to the homeowner that has the electric fence. Some of the things he wanted to see were, has there been a survey done? Is it on his property completely? So that's a big issue. Fences can technically, if a fence is put on a property line, then both owners own that fence and can do whatever they want. Tom was satisfied that this electric fence was completely on the property of the homeowner. So he is satisfied with how it looked, how it was constructed, and that type of thing around that situation. The commissioners were willing to kind of dive into and do some research and such on the topic, which is kind of what our office is currently doing now as well. And we've kind of agreed this is something that we want to have a topic to look into and research and discuss in the future. So it hasn't stopped here. We have taken those complaints into consideration while also taking the homeowners' rights into consideration. So where it's located is a big deal. I mean, technically, if a homeowner has an electric fence on their property and you get to that electric fence, you're trespassing at that point. But we do see the value in looking at the different areas, whether it's a residence zone or a farming zone or how close, you know, those types of things. So it's kind of an ongoing topic that we're doing a little research on. I would like to then just send you all an email with some of that information and then maybe get some feedback from you as well. And this can maybe be a topic that we revisit at meetings in the future too.
So back to Mr. Smith's question though, so will this be a revision of the existing fence ordinance or just a new ordinance
Yeah.
altogether?
There's nothing in the current ordinance about electric fencing.
So it'd be a revision of the existing ordinance?
It would either be, yeah, like an addition, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That covers electrical fences.
Correct, yeah.
And I believe while we're in there, we should address the, the pallets and wood skids, things like that being used for beautification
Yeah.
purposes.
I agree. I've been ran into a couple situations on the construction side. People don't realize when you put up a fence, you have to look at the ugly side when you're the owner. You have to look at the posts and all that. The slats are actually supposed to be facing the other property. Well, some homeowners don't want to see the ugly side. They want to switch it to the other side. And so they do it, and it gets away with them. They get away with it. It is what it is. But it'd be nice to see how the wording is and maybe revisit some of those things to possibly help the neighbors for those people who want to bend the rules.
It's not
Okay.
only the neighbors, it's the appearance of our community.
Well, you go, so the intersection over there on, what is that? The road that Walmart's on that has that funky, four-way stop over there, and there's a dead-end drive. If you go and just, I would believe that'd be east of Silver Tree, there's a fence that you can see all the posts and everything that's turned the wrong direction. And you guys know I work at Judd. It bugs Judd up and down. Like I hear it probably at least 3 or 4 times a year when we're driving in the car together. And now that's him. But it's the matter that he's like, I couldn't go do that, and that's annoying to him. That I couldn't go do that, but he can go do it and get away with it as a homeowner. Now that's not technically true, but it's those things that maybe it's not addressed properly in the wording, or that type of thing that I would want to look at.
I agree. I've lived the majority of my life in the unincorporated territories of the county. I have lived at 3 addresses in the city of Muncie. I actually still own those. And I can assure you that good fences make good neighbors.
Okay, well, I will get a packet put together and send out to everybody to give you all the information that we have on this topic and go from there. I appreciate you bringing that up. Thank you.
That's all for me, Mr. Smith.
Okay. Anybody else? We're adjourned.